Aha, Dinky-Doo, me hearties. A very, very good evening to you. It is just me, Scottie McCLUE. Welcome, 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 I say. Lovely to have you with us, and a big Dinky-Doo for our Tuesday evening internet phone-in. Now, so much to talk about tonight, and so little time to do it in. We only got a little bit done last night, but what a great show last night, and I think tonight will be an absolute cracker as well. So lovely to have you with us. And Dinky-Doo, as we say, in the best of circles. So there we are, fantastic stuff. Now, we'll get the TikTokers to join us as well, because that's always good fun. Good evening, Scottie, says the wonderful D Girly. Good evening, D. And Dinky-Doo, I say. I shall see if I can get a little comment. This seems to be jumping about tonight. I don't know, is yours jumping about? Or is it just me? There are fantastic stuff. Hi, Scottie and Dee, says Susan. Hi, Susan. How lovely to have you with us, and welcome to the phone in now. We'll see if the lines are open. Hey, Scottie, Dinky-Doo, Dinky-Doo, misanthrope. And lovely to have you with us. And there's no doubt that the new time is suiting people, guys. I can tell you that right now. It's definitely popular. No doubt about it. Fantastic. Who is this? Looks like Martin. Surprise, surprise. Martin.
Hello, Scotland man. How are you, sir?
How are you getting on, La? You Dinky-Doo?
Yes, Dinky-Doo yourself. How did you come down with me?
Well, I just know these things. I get a sense.
You're so bloody psychic, mate.
I'm psychic. I think this is Martin. I could have been wrong. It could have been somebody else altogether.
Oh, yes. So how's your day been?
So you're definitely taking a gamble. My day's been outstanding. What about yours?
Same. Me and him had decided to open some gifts today to reduce them. So we've got about 50 left to open on Christmas Day.
Oh, wow. Well, 50s, that's a pretty big present opening on Christmas Day.
Yeah, but Emma's got a lot of bath bombs and perfumes and shower gels and a lot of clothes and different odds and ends.
Fantastic. What about your good self?
I got what did I get? I got a lot of aftershave, lint, deodorant, shower gel, a lot of odds and ends.
You'll be smelling absolutely amazing.
Yes, plus I've got jute as well. I got jute, so
wonderful. And what about how's the dog?
The dog's great. I'm seeing the dogs hopefully on Thursday or Friday. Then the dog might be coming back to the house in a Dawson, hopefully at Christmas Day for 2 weeks. Hopefully, touch wood.
Wonderful. So, Beachy says Dinky-Doo La and our Martin.
Yeah.
And Dodsey sent me 3 beautiful red roses on the TikTok. Isn't that gorgeous?
Yes. So how are you liking the 8 o'clock?
I think the 8 o'clock's perfect, Martin.
Same.
Yes, I think it's absolutely perfect. There's no doubt about it.
How's the weather in Glasgow? Could you get a weather update, please?
It's a bit wild in Glasgow tonight, so not that you'll be going out tonight unless you really have to, because obviously Scottie McCLUE is live on the internet, so you'll want to join him on the YouTube channel and subscribe and tap the bell. But if you're going out just for a short time and you won't need the brolly, that's your weather.
So what's the topic today?
The topic tonight. Well, we're pressing on with last night's as well, because that was very popular and we only touched the surface.
Yeah, so I think the thing with the NHS, I think it will be best. I think it will be good to have 2. One to help with the mental health and all that.
Yes.
And one to try and control this variant.
Yes, now, would mental health come under the pandemic NHS or would it come under the ordinary NHS?
I think the ordinary NHS, because mental health is a different system, because mental health was under the, like for example, mental health is like get into the disability nurse side of it, like a disability nurse or a psychiatrist, all that. Like,
yes, and all mental health hasn't been caused by the pandemic. I mean, there's a lot of other conditions.
Mental health is quite a serious condition, and makes you do daft things. It makes you like go mental, makes you basically violent, aggressive.
Well, it can do. It doesn't always. I mean, some people just have a nervous breakdown.
Nervous breakdown is not an answer because it makes you go whooping. So it means you need to go for you need to go to be sectioned by the doctors if that's the case.
Yes, and that's right. And then you probably have to be taken into a residential unit.
Oh, a mental institution or something.
Yes. Well, a residential unit for mental illness.
Yes, so because basically there's a lot of illnesses out there. There's autism, there's ADHD. I've got autism and I've got ADHD, but my autism's in the mild side, but mine is not as bad. Mine can be controlled. So
now, Martin, tell me this: do you think these are relatively new conditions, or do you just think that they've been diagnosed fairly recently?
I think autism is quite an old diagnosis because basically, see, autism, basically, I went to a lot of schools, basically, as a wee boy, and my first school I went to was called McCLUE.
Well, you don't need to give us the name of the schools.
Sorry. Then I went to school, and when my behaviour, when I start acting up, that's when I got autism. I was diagnosed at the age of 5, and autism came straight through, and I was diagnosed, and I was a bit silly at school, by the way, odds and ends and that.
So you've had this since you were a wee one?
I was diagnosed at 5, but I was okay as a baby, but throughout life, at 5 years old, I was diagnosed, but since I got autism, I find it hard because people out there with autism, they bully you and picking you, they don't understand. Basically, I was diagnosed with mental health last year, or maybe this year, not sure, through the mental health team because of the constant bullying I had out in public. When I moved out of my old village, I got severely bullied, and since then, I moved to Johnston. I've been here for 5 months, and down here is a lot more peaceful and more.
And you're having a much better quality of life, and that's what matters. Now, here's somebody saying you can be sectioned under the Mental Health Act, but not the COVID Act. That's very interesting, Shane.
No, because the COVID Act is different because there's different things, but like if you were in, like, for example, if you get involved with the police at all the times and that, they decide, but by law, all your evidence goes to the Pocket Fiscal, and they decide your actual sentence. They decide if you're in there for like 2 years, 3 years, they decide your fate at the end. There's nothing to do with the police and all that or anything like that. But basically,
well, it depends if there's any criminality involved in people's behaviour.
Basically, you need the trick is keep your eyes out the law, because the worst prison in Glasgow is Ballini. That's quite a really severe prison. I've seen the documentary on telly with Ross Kemp. And that, if you've seen that, Scottie,
yes,
it's really good. It's when you've seen it back. What do you think of that?
Well, there's a lot of tough prisons. You see, I had a lot to do with prisoners because they were allowed radios in their cells. So the big attraction was Scottie McCLUE's Nightline. So they used to write to me from all over. Strange Ways in Manchester and Walton in Liverpool. You know?
And I've just found out that the markets up at Kilmarnock, they're getting monitored now, and because they're at risk, because they're asking you to wear masks more because the variant's getting quite serious up in Edinburgh because.
Well, I think we need to see a lot more mask wearing. I think young people a lot of them are being very irresponsible at the moment. And they're out not wearing masks.
Because the thing is with the COVID, we'll go right back. The thing I blame, by law, by me, in my mind, you can remind me of all the disagreeing with this. The carrier of the COVID is all the school kids. I remember that because that's where this carrier is. It's not us carrying it. If the school kids don't get diagnosed, doesn't get the jags, they pass to every individual like yourself, myself.
But I think a lot of that's to do probably with their behaviour because they don't socially distance properly. You see, you can tell young people and tell young people and tell young people, but they don't always do it. That young people aren't terribly good at taking responsibility for their own actions.
No, because basically school kids kind of behave at school. They think it's smart to lose it. That's why you should bring back, do you think they should bring back the belts and that? Or the cane?
No, I don't think so. I don't think they should bring back the belt because I think it was a very, very cruel thing.
What about the lines, writing lines.
Well, no, I just think you need to explain very clearly to young people what their responsibility is in society. If they don't do that, then they won't get the benefits of society. So in other words, if they behave irresponsibly, say in, I don't know, third year or something like that, in 2 years' time, they're going to be queuing up for a job. They're going to be begging for jobs. Now, no employer's going to take them if they can't do what they're told.
I know, that's why basically people are supposed to go to school to learn the education, and if you misbehave and leave school, you can't get any job, or people can't hire you because you act like a complete halfway idiot.
Yes.
For example, you behave misbehave, you don't get a job because you wasted all your education in school.
Yes. Spent your time on your phone.
Aye, yeah.
Absolutely. Martin, I'm going to dash. Lovely to hear from you. And DINKY-DOO.
DINKY-DOO. Love you, Scottie.
Love you lots. Ta-ra now. There's our Martin. All well, thanks, says Kareem. Excellent. Kareem, come and join us. There we are. Mental health can happen during lockdown, says Susan. Yes, I'm sure it can, because people get isolated or feel isolated. You're live on Scotty's phone in. Who's that?
Hello, Scottie. It's Carl.
Hello, how are you?
Good.
What's happening?
You're talking about nothing much. You know, you're talking about the lights.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, we still get the lights. It can be really bad.
Can you get the?
We still get the light.
The light?
Oh, no, never mind.
Never mind. Okay. Hello? You're live on Scottish Phone in. Who's that? Hello? That's obviously nobody. Nobody's nobody, I always say. Love your weather voice, says the lovely Dee Gourley. I thank you, Dee. The weather tonight. Quick look at the weather. You're live on Scottish Phone in. Who's that?
Hi, Scottie. It's Kareem.
Kareem, how lovely to hear from you. And DINKY-DOO.
DINKY-DOO, Scottie.
Off to an absolute flying start tonight, Kareem.
Yes, I was listening in the bath, but I'm now out the bath.
You're out the bath. You're a great man. I love the relaxing in the bath.
Oh, you can't beat it. After a hard day, just soak in the bath, all the bubbles.
That's unfortunately how I did this ligament in. I've strained a ligament, and it's been months. And it was getting out the bath.
Well, do you know, it must be an age thing, because the other day I nearly went flying because I was just standing, getting a shower, and I was like edging further and further back, and then I just nearly slipped. I thought, my God.
You can do, or you lean back and just slide under the water.
Yeah, so need to be careful. I can understand why a lot of elderly folk have like the wall brackets to hold on to.
Yes, and the walk-in baths that you shut a wee door and fill it up.
Yes, that must take a while to empty out.
I'll tell you what I used to love, Kareem. I've stayed in a lot of old houses, and they have proper big baths. Nowadays, we're obviously all for economy of scale and saving water and what have you, but these had these great big ceramic baths. And when you filled them up, you then got in, and what a luxury it was. It was like a mini pool, you know?
Wow, yeah. I bet that took a while to fill up.
And, well, yes, but you've got to remember to get out. You know, because you lie there, you think, oh, for goodness sake, I need to go. I must have been in here about an hour. Because it's very, very relaxing. And I do a lot of thinking in the bath.
Yes.
You know?
I play on my phone when I'm in the bath, so I'm guilty.
Well, you be careful. A, I don't want you to drop your phone in, and B, I don't want you getting a shock.
Yes. Well, Saturday, it was the Christmas night out with the department. And normally on a Friday I get home, have a wee sleep, or I go to the gym or vice versa, but couldn't do that, and I got back about 11. And honestly, on Saturday I was drained. I was in the bath for about an hour and a half. Kid you not.
I think the job that you do, Kareem, is a lot more demanding. It always amuses me when I see adverts for teachers' jobs, and it says 35 hours. And even a head teacher's job, it says 35 hours. And I think, no, I think that's nearer 70 hours, of which 35 will be paid, you know?
Yeah. I don't think they can put a real price on what
Well,
they
could you
actually do.
imagine any head teacher in this day and age going into school at 8:45 and leaving at 3?
Yes, they'd be fired.
You know, absolutely. You know, they'd only last a week or two.
Yeah. There's a lot to the job a lot of people don't know or they don't see, you know.
And it's
when you
also
don't-
interesting the way people think. I can remember a job I had once, and some people would push off just right away. And I would stay on and look at stuff and what have you, sometimes to 5:30. And I can remember somebody saying, you know, all the work you're doing's not gone unnoticed.
right.
Isn't it interesting, though?
I think sometimes though, Scottie, I mean, that's the way it should be, that people notice it and appreciate it. But I think there's so many times there's the expectation that, oh no, you need to do this extra work and you don't get thanks for it.
Yeah, well, you see, I think everybody should get thanks. I think this is something we're missing in the workplace. Coming from an ITV background, we used to do these junctions. And by a junction, you'll know what I mean. It's coming up between the programs and you'll have a bit of chat, you have a few trailers, another bit of chat. Then we used to pop up in Vision. We don't do it nowadays, but we used to pop up in Vision. And and as soon as the junction was over, you would flick the talk back and thank the controller, and they would thank you. You'd say, John, thanks very much for that. That was excellent. They go, no, not at all. Very good. Thank you. You see, and there was this instant sort of gratification because you'd made stuff happen very successfully to the second.
Yes.
Terrific teamwork, you know?
Yeah. But I think that you see that with a lot of places, though. Yet again, they demand and expect it, and it's just right. When we'll get on with it, that's the job. When, well, it's you know, people do better if they are.
How much does it cost to thank one of your colleagues?
I would say thank you very much. That was a great job.
Yeah. How much does it cost, Kareem? What's the actual cost?
What, the wages for teachers?
No. What's the actual cost of thanking one of your colleagues?
There is no financial cost at all.
Zero. Absolutely zero. So what's the problem, I always say to people? And it's the same with all the other, well, you work in the schools, so the janitors, the cleaning staff, the catering staff, the technicians. Thank you very much. We're all part of a team.
I remember, I won't name the school, but I always talk to all staff, whether it's the cleaners, whether it's the janitor, whether it's people from delivery, if it's child's college, whoever it is, I treat everybody the same. I remember I went in and one of the reception staff was really upset. She was nearly crying. I said, what's wrong with you? And she's turned around and says that one of the science teachers that she normally has a wee giggle, a bit of banter with, she did that again today, and the science teacher just looked her up and down like she was a piece of dirt and then walked away. And I thought, I felt so bad for her because she was such a nice woman. And
Absolutely.
I just thought, well, you get some people that are truthful of their own importance. And I said that I wouldn't worry about it and I wouldn't bother about it.
Well, nobody's that important, I can tell you. Yeah. Now, what was I going to say to you there? Oh, yes, fantastic show last night.
Yes, it was really good. And I think a lot of people go what they're saying about how society's getting run just now. I think the idea about the NHS is a clever one. And I think they're going to have to do something now. They can't keep steering the ship the same way.
Well, they can't keep steering. Oh, I love it, Kareem. Steering the ship the same way towards the rocks. And they also can't sort of keep moaning about the same thing. We must take the pressure off the NHS. We must take the pressure off the NHS. Okay, take the pressure off the NHS. Yeah. Do it. Yeah. You see, actually do it, make it happen. You see, in general, politicians don't do things, they just talk about doing them.
Yeah.
And very often when they say we've promised another £5 million for that, that money was coming anyway.
Yeah, it just makes them look good.
I mean, I can remember seeing the Secretary of State announcing another £1 million for Scotland. I said, so you're giving us back another mill of our own money?
That they took away previously by
Yes.
cutbacks anyway.
Yes, all that kind of nonsense. So it's all to do with looking good. Wait till I tell you this, Kareem. This is amazing. Here's Robocop. Hope you're having a wonderful evening. God bless you and respect. And then a lovely, just returned from Glasgow and Edinburgh. Forgot how beautiful Edinburgh is. Great to visit. And Glasgow is very beautiful too. Do you remember me? Says Marvin. Of course, Marvin. We don't talk, says Marvin. Oh, yes, we do. Hello from Barra. Hello, UK, my Navy official. It's everyone, mate, not just young people. They've already sacrificed a lot. If we had teachers that showed us respect and thought as actual life skills are not crap, well, Gothic Gaza, you've got that one wrong. The teachers do show you respect. Otherwise, they wouldn't teach you at all. DINKY-DOO, you're absolutely amazing person. Thank you, Olith. Look up to that and be better. Just cut their internet off if people can't behave. That's why we should bring in national service. So there we go. As Britain started with exercising the Nuremberg Code, as with Poland, there we go. Hi from Calder Crooks. So there we go. Hold on a second. Scottie, did you used to do radio in Sheffield? Yes, I did. So there we go. Fantastic stuff. And what have we got here? Just get rid of this one as well. I've got a half-wit on here. I'm just getting rid of. There we go. Fantastic. Now, I praise you for keeping McCLUE's pies open. There we are, getting the vegetarian lattice slice in a rich chicken sauce. And who else have we got? Fantastic. Floater, DINKY-DOO. And I've just had from I Am Steel a huge present of TikToks. Now, I Am Steel is in America, Kareem, and joins us on a TikTok early bird at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Wow, there you go.
Because America's still up. It's late, but they're still up. They're going, oh, it's 2:30 in the morning, Scottie. Come on, we need to go to bed.
We're just starting.
Robert says, Scottie, I missed the show the other night. What was you up to be banned? He said a silly, silly thing about a friend. In fact, it was quite offensive. Anyway, we're over it now, so there we are. We don't hold grudges, but he did get a lifetime ban.
Well, Scottie, it was interesting what you were saying there about the politicians, how they say things. The EIS were calling that schools should finish this Friday because that would help the NHS, you know.
I did see that because it would obviously completely cut the whole risk of the latest variant being passed, the Omicron being passed around just at one fell swoop. But I noticed, I was very interested because Nicola normally is very keen to look after anything that would do that. But for some reason, they've decided that obviously it wasn't either necessary or politically astute.
Well, I think, I normally, I support the SNP, but I think you have to hold them account and you have to criticise as well. We were in this situation a year ago when people were saying, close the schools early, help stop the spread, and they didn't. And for the next week, the schools are only going for another week. And let's be honest, at this time of year, a lot of kids are coming in and they're making cards and posters, or they're watching DVDs. You know, the teaching starts to slow down. The kids have done their work for the year and it's more of a fun atmosphere. Well, it is fun, but more of a Christmas atmosphere.
Yes.
However, if you're wanting to slow the transmission, I would probably, and I agree with the EIS, stop the schools on Friday. Watch 2.5 days. The kids' education is not going to be affected missing 2.5 days. And
you might save a lot of infection over Christmas.
Correct. If for us being in now for this extra week, and with everybody interacting, the words earlier on was quite interesting. We're urging people. Now, let's be honest, a lot of people that I've spoke to that are normally pretty level-headed, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing this. I'm doing what I want. I'll still sanitise, wear my mask, but I'm not sticking to X, Y, and Z. So I think you know, there's going to be a wee battle coming, Scotty.
There's going to be what coming, Kareem? Sorry?
A wee battle.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes, I think so. Here's Chat 55 saying they won't need to close them. We'll all be isolating.
I don't think well, listen, I don't think we'll have another lockdown. I generally don't believe we'll have a lockdown, but I think we're going to have a lot more ill people. And to stop that from happening, I think the first thing should have been, which I agree with DIS, it should have been Friday, just to make sure everybody has a safe Christmas.
Yeah, absolutely. So, in other words, you think that the schools should do another, what are we at tonight, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then that's it?
Yeah, Friday be the last day, say your goodbyes, have the carols, send your cards, whatever you need to do. Monday and Tuesday, Wednesday, stay off, or even if it's home learning, because a lot of the schools, like all Glasgow schools, the kids have iPads, do some type of fun quizzes and learning Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Oh.
So let's be honest, a lot of the kids won't do them.
Well, absolutely. We're taking our kids out after Friday, not an easy decision. So there's parents taking their children out.
Well, there will be parents doing that just now because they'll be afraid about bubbles, etc. And I think at the moment with a lot of the young people, I do think we're doing a lot better than England in terms of wearing masks and social distancing, but we've still got somewhere to go.
Oh, we've got some way to go. And young people being young people, they still do all that mucking about with each other and hugging each other and, you know?
Well, yeah, exactly. And they don't really, I mean, like today I had a wee boy run up right in front of my face to ask me a question. Is that COVID? Come on.
Yeah, now if he'd coughed, you could be ill over Christmas.
I could have it right now, correct?
You know, that's the worry, Kareem, all these things. Kareem, what a fantastic call as always. I shall press on and we'll see what gives.
Yes, well, Scottie, thanks for my call. I'll speak to you tomorrow night, everybody.
I think the 8 o'clock's definitely a winner.
Oh, I'm enjoying it, Scottie, for the winter. It's absolutely a definite winner.
Wonderful stuff. And DINKY-DOO.
Take care, Scottie.
Thanks, Kareem. Thank you for everything you do. Top man. You're live at Scottie's phone in. Who's that?
Right, Scottie, it's me again, Pablo.
Hey, Pablo, me again. How are you?
I'm not too bad. I'm on my headset tonight. I'm sounding okay.
You're sounding absolutely outstanding.
Fantastico.
Fantastico, see.
I've been listening to this, the part one we did yesterday.
Yes.
I've listened to it about 3 times. I think it's the best one yet, that's Scottie.
Is that right?
I think
wow.
The numbers don't lie on the YouTube as well. I think it's had a lot of hits as well.
Ah, excellent. Well, guys, can you get sharing part 1 of last night's show? You'll see it on the YouTube channel. Can everybody watching right now subscribe on the YouTube channel and tap the bell for the notifications?
That's the one, Scottie, and I'm glad you're back to doing your McCLUE. What is it, McCLUE? I'm glad you're doing them again, Scottie.
The McCLUEs?
I can't say it like you can say it, McCLUE.
McCLUE.
No, you know your sayings.
Oh, yes, we're saying them all, of course. Start out the door and step it through.
Yeah, Scottie, but I have to pull you up on one thing you've not said.
What have I not said?
1, 2, buckle my shoe.
The 1, 2, buckle my shoe. Absolutely. Wait till I tell you this. There's a few things I haven't said when I look at it, but wait till I tell you this. I snipped your call the other night, and you should be able to see it on YouTube.
Really?
And that was you asking me about my sayings.
Right.
The McCLUEisms. I've got it now. Yes, everybody's shouting McCLUEisms.
Yeah, I can't say it. I'm struggling with that one.
They're all shouting McCLUEisms. Yes, we have several McCLUEisms. Well, as you know, Alex Belfield uses a lot of McCLUEisms.
Yeah, argy-bargy, that one.
He uses argy-bargy, he uses 1, 2, buckle my shoe, he uses the hard of thinking.
My mum always used to laugh though, Scottie. You always used to get with that argy-bargy. I don't know what's so funny about it.
I think it comes from a kind of football concept. So you've got a commentator, and you know the way these footballers nowadays square up to the referee
Yeah.
and put their head up to his nose and things like that.
Mhm.
And square up to each other. I sort of say, go on then,
Yeah.
do you think you're big enough? Come on then. All that
Yeah, well,
stuff, which is very, very poor behavior, actually. And I think the commentator said, yes, a little bit of argy-bargy going on there.
Yeah, that's why my mum must like it, because she was massive on the football a few years back.
Do you remember they used to shove each other and things like that?
Scottie, I miss that, mate. We need that back in the game. I know you don't like the sports talk, but we need a
It's
little
not
bit
a question of not liking it. I really don't know enough about it because my dad was a gardener.
Mhm.
So what we were doing was working in his garden on a Saturday, and he didn't take me to football, and I don't mind because I'm not crazy on it.
Yeah, well, it's weird with mine. My dad wasn't interested in sports whatsoever, but my mum, she took to the football. She likes to watch the darts, and everyone used to laugh when they come and watch the match with me or be in the house. My dad would be
my mum was like that. Snooker, bowling, tennis, anything on sport. My mother would sit and watch the lot.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy when I think of it. Well, my dad came from like Sicilian farmers and things like that.
Yeah.
So
you don't muck about with them, I'll tell you.
No. Well, he was never interested. I mean, he used to take us for a kickabout at the park if we used to mither him, or my mum said, go on, take on the park. But he wasn't interested in sport. It was my mum who used to come and watch, like the finals, like the football final with the school. She'd come and watch us. But my dad weren't that interested in it.
He wasn't too bothered. Well, dads weren't. It was kind of the way things were done. You had to drag dad along to the nativity play,
Yeah. I tell you what, that's weird. That my dad used to actually go and watch my nativity plays because my mum suffered with a little bit of depression and stuff like that. So she was mainly in the house. But if my mum weren't going, she'd make sure my dad would. So that's good in a way, Scottie. But moving away from that, I wanted to speak about
Pablo, hang on a wee second. I'm multitasking here. Dee says, my daughter's one when school's closed. Nightmare. COVID has caused a lot of bad mental health, especially among the young ones. And 2 lovely kisses from Dee. She's such a sweet lady.
Mm-hmm.
Dee, you should give us a call. Yes, none of this is good for the kids, says Misanthrope. Italia. Wait a wee second. Pablo's daughter here, definitely not Misanthrope. What do you think about bringing back national service, Scottie? Well, it's a thought. Hello, Scottie. Not long home. Where we are. This is Nationwide Coin Hunt. I can't see that message. Hang on. There we are. Not long home was visiting, having a wee run round the Clockwork Orange. It's their 125th birthday. First service departed Govan Cross, which is now known as Govan, at 5 a.m. Now, do you know what the Clockwork Orange is, Pablo?
No, not a clue.
You wouldn't have. Why would you? It's the Glasgow Underground.
Mm.
And in something like 1978, I think it was redone. It was the original Victorian Underground up until then.
Right.
So you had these very old, with plush seating, shaky, sugary trains, and that smell of underground. And then they completely refurbished it, and now you've got these shiny orange trains that shoot round the circuit. It's a great way to travel in Glasgow.
I could imagine that. That makes me think about a documentary I watched. It was about this guy, and he bought something in Scotland that was like underground, and he tried to refurbish it and then make it like, where people go and pay to look around or do like some paranormal acts. And the people were saying it was a bad idea because of the space he had. How many people do you think you can fit in there? And then he was trying to counteract it. Well, I'll charge a certain amount for the ticket. And they were like, who's going to pay that amount of money to come down here? So he spent a lot trying to do it, but I don't know if he did well with the project or not.
Well, these projects are interesting. I'll tell you what we had in Scotland. It didn't take off, but we had the Benny monorail.
Right.
So this is going way back. I think it might have been the 1930s, and you had a monorail. My daughter has kept kids off school too much. COVID, says Magnus. Nationwide Coin Hunt in 1896. 1896 was when the underground opened.
I'll have to look at that. I don't know much about the underground. All I know is it used to be like the first part of travel that people used. But do you think?
Well, I'm trying to think what you've got in. You've not got it in Manchester, actually. You've got the buses and the trams and the trains, but I don't think you've got a metro.
I'm not sure, Scottie.
Newcastle's got a metro. Glasgow's got the metro. London obviously has got the tube.
Yeah.
I think schools should be closed early. I'm petrified I'll catch the bug, says Suzanne.
They're shutting early over there, Scottie. My son's shut on the 17th.
Right. So when's that? 3 days?
3 days.
Well, this weekend.
Yeah, I think it's with it being a Catholic school. I know they shut a bit earlier than the Protestant schools at Christmas, but 17th.
Not the Protestant schools, the non-denominational.
Is that what it is now, Scottie?
Yes. So you've got a Catholic school and you've got a non-denominational school.
Wow, when did he change that? Because I only knew that's Protestant school.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's the way it was in the days gone by. But you see, you've got to remember that Christianity is only one of the world's great religions.
Well, I didn't know much about it, and my partner learned me something I didn't know, that even if you christened in the Church of England, you sort of still Christian and Catholic, and I didn't even know
we're all Catholic. We're just not all Roman Catholic, but we're all members of the one holy Catholic and Apostolic Church. And the only difference is, so what I'm saying is that Catholics and Protestants are virtually they're exactly the same religion.
Yeah, but they used to have the differences, didn't they?
They've got the differences because the Protestants were known as the breakaway brethren.
Right.
They broke away, you see, because they didn't want to be run from Rome. And you had so many streams of this going on right across Europe. You had the Restoration. You had the Restoration of Scotland with John Knox. You had John Calvin. You had Martin Luther. Then you'd got King Henry VIII himself, who wanted away from Rome because the Pope disapproved of his shenanigans.
You know so much, Scottie. How have you done it in such a short lifetime?
I don't know. I've not even scratched the surface, Pablo. But wait till I tell you this. I got a phone call one time to the radio show. And this guy goes, I don't think Prince Charles should be the head of the Church of England. I said, why not? He said, because he's an adulterer. I said, are you remembering that the Church of England was set up by an adulterer for the purposes of adultery?
Wow.
And he just went, aye, okay, and hung up.
I didn't even know that, Scottie.
Yeah, so Henry VIII wanted to be, he was an adulterer, and he wanted to get divorced. And the Pope said no, so he fell out with him and started his own branch of the church. But the High Anglican Mass is virtually identical to the Catholic Mass.
Yeah, it is, Scottie, because I went to Burnage in Stockport, and I actually went to one of the churches, and I was sure it was a Catholic church until they do the prayer slightly different, and I thought, that's not what they do in the Catholic Church, but the majority of the Mass is very close to the Catholic Church Mass.
There was a lovely, the response is, the Lord be with you and also with you.
Yeah, they've changed that now, haven't they? I think it's, and also with your ghost or your spirit. They changed something there.
Well, I'll tell you a lovely one, right? That was the response at the time. The Lord be with you and also with you. And they were making a recording of a service once, and it was such a big church that the congregation couldn't hear in time to respond. So one of the technicians said, I'll cue the congregation. So anyway, the bishop or whoever it was up at the microphone in the pulpit, up at the high altar, I should say, and said, he was about to say, the Lord be with you, and the guy was going to cue the congregation, and they went, and also with you. And he said, there is something wrong with this microphone. And the congregation went, and also with you. Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah, Scottie.
I love it.
Anyway, Scottie,
There's Susan. Susan says 8 p.m.'s a bit early for some. Absolutely, but I think it's an ideal time, Susan, with the internet.
I think it is, Scottie. I think because, like you say, people are either lying down in bed and they're getting tired by that point, and they probably want to be asleep by 11. So this gives them a little bit of play, so they don't fall asleep. You've also got international. You've got to think about the international side of things as well, Scottie. I think.
Yeah, I think you've got to remember that we are worldwide. I want to encourage people from America and Canada and Tasmania and the Arctic and the Antarctic and Australia and New Zealand to phone in.
Yeah,
but it will incur a cost, so I need them to check their package.
Yeah, it's nice to hear different accents and things like that as well, Scottie.
Well, we are a truly international show, so it would be nice to have all the international callers, because most of our callers are coming from either the UK or Ireland.
Yeah. Well, that's it, innit? Right, it's got a quick point because I've been on for a while.
Yeah, I know, you're better, Dash.
Just quick point here. Do you think, right, they should have let the kids go back to school in the first place, because that didn't make much sense. And the second point is, with the mental health being very, very bad at the moment, what do you think should happen is in where they can go in times of need. I know you've got the Samaritans they can phone, but I've witnessed it, Scottie, when I'm sat in A&E, there's lots of people with mental health problems that walk in and they're sat there for about 8 hours and they're walking up and down, going back to the counter saying, my head's done in, I can't wait any longer. So I think they need to start opening.
Well, you see, here's an idea. Last night we talked about having 2 NHSs. Now, A&E is a one-size-fits-all. So why don't we have an A&E for mental health?
Exactly.
So why don't we have several A&Es? If it's very urgent, if somebody's got chest pains, get yourself into that A&E. They'll see you right away.
Makes a lot of sense.
Do you know, if you've banged your knee or something and it needs a bit of a rub, you know, then you can go to that A&E.
Well, yeah, like why do we have to go through? Go to triage, because then triage are only nurses and they don't always make the right decisions. Why don't we have a place that if you
Well, I think that's maybe a bit harsh on the nurses. I mean, I know you're very familiar with the health setup, but the nurses are pretty good. But I think they've been asked a lot.
I think they are good, Scottie, but I think in times like that, they can make wrong decisions based on what you just said, like a specialist thing, like you bang your head, you go to somewhere where you bang your head, trauma hospital. You've got chest pains, you go to a chest hospital, but it's still like an A&E. And I think that would bring down the waiting time.
Well, I think the way to cut down A&E waiting times is to start prioritising A&E.
I think what's happening, Scottie, because of these lockdown procedures and you can't see your doctor, people are getting sick and tired of waiting for the telephone, you know, phone appointment back. They're probably getting a bit of health anxiety with what's going on in the world. So they're going down there with the sniffles and they shouldn't be there. But at the end of the day, they're holding the queue up. You've got someone sat there who's 87 years old, shaking in chest pain, and it takes someone to go up and say, listen, my dad's been here, he's shaking.
Yeah, but they should be seen right away. Can you just go straight in, please?
Absolutely. Same with a little child, a baby, the high temperature. He can go.
Yeah, straight in. Yeah. You know.
Well, they have that, Scottie. They have the panda unit.
So and you also haven't got people explaining, so you're sitting there. Nobody knows what's going on. You see, so it would be very nice if people came out and talked to all the people sitting there.
Yeah, how long have you been here? Are you okay? But the main thing, Scottie, I've come to realise, if you go in with chest pain or something, you know, until you've seen the doctor, you don't really get pain relief. Not always, Scottie, I won't say always, but majority of the time I've been in there with chest pain. I've been made to sit down, wait my turn, get some bloods done, sit down again. Also, it's like musical chairs. You think you're getting somewhere, you sit down, sorry, we don't have you a bed, the doctor will see you soon. And I tell you, the overall waiting times is between 6 to 8 hours, Scottie.
That's too long.
It's too long.
The politicians are failing the people. I'm going to have to dash, Pablo, or we'll get sacked.
Yeah, right, okay, DINKY-DOO.
Love you lots, DINKY-DOO. Top man. There we are, that's our Pablo. Manchester is the metro too, Scottie. Aha, Scottie, it's an education listening to you, says Charlie. You're live at Scottie's phone in. Who's that?
Hi, Scottie, it's Dee.
Dee, how lovely to hear you. I was hoping
Hello.
you'd phone tonight.
Hi, how are you? You
I'm-
okay?
Darling, I'm absolutely outstanding. I am chuffed to bits with the way the show's going.
Oh, it's amazing. I've really enjoyed the last couple of nights, actually. It's
And I think that the move to 8 o'clock has actually been quite a smart move.
It's been a really good move. I think everybody comes in, has their tea, and it's just that nice wee time to just sit and have a wee blather.
Yes,
Wind
just a
down.
wee chat between 8 and 9 and then off to Bobo's.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Because let's be honest, these very dark mornings and very dark nights, they do
quite
make you tired.
Very tired, very tired. Makes a lot of people kind of depressed as well, this weather, doesn't it?
Yes, you get a bit down with it. And I think that, well, no wonder we're staggering about. We can't see, you know, the roads. I mean, the roads in the morning. If you watch people crossing a road, if you're around early in the morning, you think this is dangerous. It's so flaming dangerous. Do you know what I mean? Because what we should be doing, Dee, is hibernating. We should be saying, what's the time? You say it's the 14th of December. So I think you need to get up before 11 o'clock.
Definitely. Well, I'll be hibernating for the 17th of December till the 27th of December.
Lovely.
I'm going to be to Skye and
oh, wow.
Cottage with the water right beside me and the wee rocks, and honestly.
Oh, you will love that, the Skinners. My parents used to go to Skye. My father was a Scottish violinist.
Oh, lovely, lovely.
Yep. So he used to go up to Skye and play his violin, his fiddle, as they call it.
Oh, it's the most magical place in Scotland. I've been a few times. I've got my daughter, she's 16, and we called her Skye from the island. It's just a magical place. I love
Lovely.
it.
Now, have you been going there a while, Dee?
Oh, yeah.
Right, now, so do you remember the bridge starting?
Yeah.
And that must surely have made a difference.
Oh, it made a huge difference.
Because I remember taking a girlfriend, she wanted to go to Skye, so we drove all day and we stopped at this restaurant. And they didn't tell us what was wrong. I think the chef had walked out and we were sitting for hours. Anyway, long story short, it was pitch dark by the time we passed Elan Donnan. And the ferry was off. So we had to drive all the way back down via Loch Ness. Now, the bridge, we could have travelled over and just had a wee camp out in the car park.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, that bridge has made such a difference. I think, see the satellite, I think the satellite actually takes you that scenic route. So a lot of the times if you're going anywhere, you need to actually say to people, look, the bridge, if you go the bridge way, you'll get there quicker. But a lot of people do choose to go the scenic route and, see the island and whatever. But,
can you still get the ferry down at the bottom end? Yeah, you can still get a wee ferry over at the bottom end. Interesting.
Oh, yeah.
And I can remember before the Keswick Bridge opened.
Right.
And I remember going up and I was taking a big van on board the wee ferry. And the guy was turning me and I was being very careful and he's going, come on, round you go. And then we got it done. He went, I don't know how you get on in the cities at all.
Oh.
As if to say, if you can't get on the Keswick ferry, what are you like in the city,
Oh, definitely.
But you're always a wee bit wary. My father, I remember we had to go and get some stuff from Millport.
All right, okay.
And this was about 1960, and there was a lovely wee paddle steamer called the Talisman. The DEPV Talisman, diesel electric paddle vessel.
Amazing.
So she was actually, now how did this work? She was driven by electric motors fired by diesel generators, I think, something like that. And she had a huge big front that said English Electric on it. Right. And I can remember hearing a story about two Glasgow wifeys, and one turns to the other and goes, look, Jeannie, a big washing machine. A big washing machine. Now, there was no car ferry in those days to Cumbria. So you got 2 wooden planks, and you drove up these planks when the tide was right onto the paddle box of the Talisman.
Right.
Oh, and it was quite hairy. My father was a brilliant driver, I remember, but I thought,
Right. You'd have to be skillful to do it.
oh, a very heavily laden car going up 2 slidey planks.
Definitely.
With the guys going like this, I don't know if you could see me. They're going, oh, that stuff. There's Chris says, don't talk about ferries up here. I live in Invergordon. We're being told that anything north of Perth is classed as non-mainland. What a lot of nonsense, Chris. Don't you put up with any of that. We love Invergordon.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Here's Chris, he says, evening, Scottie. How's it going? Sorry I'm late tonight. Keep thinking you're on at 9. Old age catching up with me at the grand age of 29.
I think a lot of people, well, I do try to share, but I think a lot of people are still, they've not seen
They haven't seen it yet. No, they'll think we've disappeared likely. And they'll be kicking themselves because everyone I've met, this is why I know there's nothing wrong with the product. Because everyone I've met go, I never even knew you were on.
I know.
I'd have loved that.
Where have you been, Scottie?
Where have you been, Scottie? I thought you were dead.
1990s.
I thought you were dead, Scottie. What? I didn't even know. We're on every night away.
I know, I've heard a lot of people say that. Well, what thing you say? I thought you were dead. That's horrible.
Thought you were dead. I know. Well, no, I just say, well, apparently not. I'm saying I've just given myself a pat doon and I felt fine.
I know. Right, well, I just want to say one thing, and I'm going to let somebody else on because it's the time's running by.
Oh, I know, so it is. I'm just seeing that.
I just wanted to make a wee quick, a wee bit about the mental health.
Oh, yes, yes.
My daughter, she's 16. I'm not putting my children into school. I made the same decision last year. Just before Christmas, I took them out, didn't let them in. I've got underlying health problems as it is. I suffer from asthma, stuff like that. So I don't want anything coming in here. And they had been.
But you could save them and yourself getting ill over Christmas by doing that, actually.
Exactly. And I don't know how many times they came in and we had to quarantine because they caught it from in the school. And I
think quarantine's 10 days now, isn't it?
It is 10 days.
So that would take us right to Christmas Day at midnight tonight.
Yeah. Yep, exactly. So, and it's just no fair. I don't know. Something's going to need to be done. Mm-hmm. My daughter's 16. She has a very, very bad mental health, which she gets therapy for. I know a lot of people say there's not a lot out there for mental health, but I can assure I've got a daughter at 26 as well, and she was actually got into St Andrews University.
Fabulous.
Because of the COVID last year, I said, at least if you go away up there, you're going to be stranded. I said, you're going to need to look for work. You're not going to get work. I think you're better staying here in Glasgow. Because she still had her work and her furlough and all that kind of stuff. So she's now doing her psychology.
And then she's got her family. She's got her mother round her as well.
Exactly. So she's now doing it at Strathclyde Uni, and she really suffered badly with her mental health too.
Well, I think it's a big ask.
There is help there.
Yes. But what I was going to say, Dee, what do you think of the idea of an A&E for mental health?
I think that's an amazing idea, but we need to be pumping the money in.
I don't mind that. I mean, we pumped 250 billion pounds into Brexit for nothing.
That's it. I know the amount of money the government has spent on nonsense.
Yeah.
When it should be.
Look at all these PPE contracts and all the millions of pounds that went out in that.
Yeah.
Look at that test and trace, all the billions that went out in that test and trace.
I know. But some money needs to be poured in, because we do know that the NHS is suffering. But if there was money pumped in the NHS, and as you said, different departments, split it in two, and, you know, more getting hired to do the jobs that they're needing done. I've been waiting for an operation for a while now, and it's honestly, it is really, really bad. But I'll leave it at that. As you say,
you're
right,
wonderful.
all you say.
You're a wonderful lady, but I'll tell you what, I think the government need to stop doing. They need to grow up and stop scaring people.
Exactly,
You're never going to get people to do what they're told just because you've scared them. So it's the government's duty to get together in their meetings and say, now we need to be very, very careful we don't spook the people.
Exactly, absolutely.
And then they need to come on. I mean, I don't know if you saw the leader of the House of Commons, Sir Lindsay Hoyle, was furious the other day about the Prime Minister choosing the news channels over the House of Commons.
Commons, I know, absolutely ridiculous. I know.
Now, why would you have that level of disrespect for Parliament?
It's totally disrespectful, and I just don't, honestly, I just can't believe all the leaders are now.
Jim has said 20 billion for test and trace. Now, you think of all the young people that could have an attention for mental health out of that.
Definitely. I mean, the mental facilities that could be up, and as you say, 2 facilities in the NHS, absolutely excellent idea. Get the money pumped in. Let's just get it together instead of all this nonsense. But that's my last word of saying that, and I'm going to let somebody else in.
Never you have your last word. You come on anytime. You're a princess. And I'll tell you something. Have a lovely, lovely holiday.
Oh, I'm going to look forward to it, Scottie. I'm really going to look forward to it.
Take your phone with you, Dee, because we'll be popping up, and we'll be maybe even popping up Christmas, New Year, that kind of stuff, you know?
Right. Well, listen, I want to bring you a wee something back, but even if it's I don't know where to send it to, but even let me know where I can send it. Doesn't need to be your address. It could be a studio, the BBC.
Listen,
I want to bring you a wee something back.
I know, darling, and I'm so grateful. But listen, don't you worry about that. You have done so much for me.
I want to do it. No, I really want to do it. But inbox me an address where I can drop it off, because I would like to do that, because you've been my friend for years.
Fantastic.
You've got me through so much, so it's just a wee token appreciation.
Oh, my dear, you don't need to do that. The appreciation's talking to you now. That's my appreciation.
Oh, right. I love you so much. You take care.
Love you lots. Night, night. God bless.
And take care of all the rest as well.
Thanks, Angel. See you, Dee. Top lady. Test and trace, 10% of what we spent on the whole of the NHS. What a waste that was, I can tell you. There we go. Phones. You're live with Scottie's phone in. Who's that? Hey, Glenn Dinky-Doo.
I've got you. Good night. It's been a good show tonight, Scottie.
Great show tonight, and an absolute belter last night. 2 parts last night.
How long have we got? A couple of minutes.
Just less. So carry on. You press on.
I've just had my booster today, Scottie. Me vaccine.
Right. Well done.
Yeah.
And are you feeling okay?
I'm not feeling too bad, to be fair. I'm a big strapping lad, Scottie. I've had worse.
You can cope with that. Hang on 2 seconds. I'm just going to say good night. God bless to our beautiful TikTokers. Good night, TikTokers. We love you. There they go.
We'll get through it as a nation, Scottie, anyway, won't we?
Well, we always do. We get through everything.
That's the main thing, innit?
You know, but what I'm saying tonight is that we need to stop having all this kind of panic and worry, and that's adding to the nation's mental health.
But with Christmas coming up and everything, Scottie, you put all the damn squid on things, don't it?
Yeah, well, it does do a bit, but we'll get through Christmas and then we'll see what is what.
See, we'll assess it in a couple of weeks, won't we, I should imagine.
Yeah, but there's definitely been a lot of mistakes made, hasn't there?
Families and friends aren't going to give over seeing each other just because of this or that.
Well, of course not. Why would you?
Exactly.
You know, and we're not going to stop chatting on the old phone in.
Why should we, Scottie? You know what I mean? We're all together as a unity.
We're all together. We're all in it together, la. I'm going to have to dash. We're absolutely out of time.
Jam down to dusk, guy.
Love you lots. Dinky-Doo.
Dinky-Doo. DINKY-DOO.
DINKY-DOO, Lala. That's it, folks. We are out of time. What a fantastic show tonight. This is just wonderful. Last night and tonight, if you look on the YouTube channel, you'll see last night's part 1 and part 2. If every single one of you can subscribe to the YouTube channel, because this is just going to grow and grow and grow, and tell everyone who's on the internet that the internet phone-in starts Monday through until Saturday, 8 till 9 in the evening. To every single one of you, this is Scottie McClue saying thanks for watching and DINKY-DOO.